Hello YouTube, my name is Penel. Welcome back to another episode of our Learn Flask tutorial series. And today we'll be looking at templating in Flask. So in our previous episode, we learned how to create routes and then return text to the browser whenever a user hits that route. Okay, so today we'll be looking at how to return an HTML document instead of a text, because in the real world that's how it's been done. So to be able to do that, you have to import a function from Flask called render template. So this function allows you to call HTML document and render it to the browser. So instead of returning a text here, we are going to return the render template and pass in an HTML document, and ours is going to be index.html. Okay, so we haven't actually created this file yet, so let's go and create this file. Okay, so before we create that file, I want to explain something to you guys. So this function, this render.html template function, actually looks for a folder in your project directory called templates. So let's create that folder, templates. Okay, and then in that template folder is where it's going to search for your index.html. So you put your index.html right there. Okay, so here I would like to return a piece of markup h1 and say hello Flask. Okay, so now let's go back to our web browser and refresh and see what happens. Okay, so now we have this showing right here. That's what we typed here in our markup. So now let's create multiple routes. Okay, so we are going to create about route, a contact route, and a service route. We've already learned how to create a route. Let's redo it all over again. At app.route, and the part of the route we're going to look at the about, and we are going to return a function. Sorry, we are going to call a function. And the function is going to render a template to the browser, and the browser is going to be called about.html. Okay, so now let's do the same thing too for contacts. Okay, so now we have successfully created two more routes. Okay, so now we have to create this about.html and contact.html. Okay, so we create them inside a templates folder. So, okay, so I'm going to return contact here. Sorry. And okay, so now let's go back to our browser and check our routes. So we did /about, so you see the about, and then we did /contact, right? Okay, so now we're going to be looking at Ginger. What is Ginger? Ginger is a templating engine which comes with Flask by default. Okay, so it allows you to achieve more with your HTML documents. Okay, so now You can see I'm doing it wrong here. Like, I have no head, no title. I'm supposed to write this in the head, sorry, in the body tag. Okay, so let's do it the right way. Okay, so it's going to look something like this, and then whatever I'm going to render in the body or in the browser is supposed to be in the body. Okay, so about, like that. So then that means I'm going to repeat this same piece of code for all the other pages by just changing this. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. So you can see I'm already repeating myself, and that's not what we want to do. We want to have a way where we can just write all this thing in one separate file and then just insert what we want into that same document. Okay, so that's what templating is all about. Okay, you are taking a template from somewhere and putting yours into it, or the actual thing you want to display into it. Okay, so I'm going to create a layout.html document where it's going to consist of my layout, like that. And this one I'm going to import my css and assets and all the other stuffs. Okay, so Flask app. So now I want to be able to call this document, okay, and then be able to insert this into this part of the document, just this part. Okay, so what Ginger allows you to do is use what Ginger calls block. Okay, block. So you say block content. So by creating a block, we can now insert into these blocks from anywhere by just importing this document, this layout.html, in the other templates. Okay, alright, so let's save this and move to the about. So I just don't want to repeat this all over again. So from here we have to import the layout to be able to extend that one. So you have to extend, we extend what? We extend layout.html. Think I didn't spell extendable. Okay, so we are extending layout.html. So then from there we have to specify which block do we want to insert into. So which block in our layout.html are we going to insert into? So when I come here, we have only one block specified, which is the content block. So let's open our content block. And let's end the block. Okay, so now we can write our about here in our h1. Sorry. So we can actually repeat the same thing for the other documents as well. So let's just copy that and replace them. So you want this to be contacts and this to be home, right? This is the index, so it's supposed to be home. Okay, so in a moment of truth, let's look at how it looks like. Oh, sorry, I think it's supposed to be extends, not extend, with an S. Okay, alright, so then let's move back. And okay, so everything works perfectly. You can see from here we have Flask app, which is from the layout.html document right here. So we are actually extending this document and inserting ours into the specified block. Okay, you can have multiple blocks in multiple locations, so we can even have a block here. So let's do it. Let's put a block here, so we can have title, a title block. This so we have to end a title block. So now when we go to our about.html, so here we can also insert into the title block. Okay, so what do you want to insert? Flask app, and I want like a hyphen and about, right? Because we're at the about page. Okay, so let's move back and refresh. Okay, so I did it for the about, right? About, so you can see it has changed here. And when we move to contacts, you can contacts without an S. You can see we don't have any title here, and this is because we haven't given it a default title. When there's no title inserted into this page, it's going to be blank by default. So when you put something here like Flask app, it will be overwritten whenever this block is called and there's something new inserted into it. Okay, so then when I go back to this page right here, you see there's no title, but then if I refresh, the default title has been given to it, since it hasn't been overwritten on this page. Okay, all right, so in our next episode we'll be looking at how to use static files like images and CSS documents in Flask. Okay, so see you in the next video.